Welcome back, nerds. You're watching the It's More Than a Cartoon podcast. Today, we have a very interesting topic, something that the entire world is going crazy about. Dudes are simping over it. Chicks are simping over it. Is this even a kid's show? I don't know if it's supposed to be a kid's show, but today we're talking about K-pop demon hunters. I'm your host, Dr. Applesauce, with my co-host, Kyle. Kyle, tell us about K-pop demon hunters. What's going on with this crazy phenomenon?
It is, first off, amazing. I want to put that out there. And the fact you said it's not a kid's show, it's so hilarious because
we want to watch it.
They can. It says it's rated for kids, but we were on Netflix last night, me and my wife, chilling on the couch, and of course, every time I see it, I have to just watch the little trailer of it. I'm obsessed with it. And my wife, I got her to watch it with me, and she was looking at the title of it, and it says, like, made for kids. She's like, I don't think this is made for kids. So the fact that you said that too, and my wife said that last night, is hilarious. But K-pop Demon Hunters is honestly, I think, a masterpiece of a movie, even though, quick review on it, I think it's unfinished. Now, does that 100%. Mean sequels? Does that mean they left parts out? Both, because there is so much to unpack for it, and I'm so glad that we're talking about this because, dude, I have a list of things that people didn't either notice, people might not understand, or things they left out. And there is so much about this that people need to hear because K-pop Demon Hunters is one of those movies that I feel like is going to change everything. You don't really see much when it comes to animation now that doesn't really perform well. This one did. And also wasn't actually advertised as much as I was expecting it to be.
It just kind of came out of nowhere.
They really did.
Yeah.
I knew the trailer was coming because like every time you're on Netflix, you see coming soon. That's the only place I saw it. That's it. And it blew my mind of how amazing it was, how much I enjoyed it because I told my wife, literally, she was gone. And while you have Will here in the most anticipated anime convention of the year, I'm here at my house by myself, sitting down with my Chipotle burrito in my hand and a beer next to me. And I'm like, you know what? Let's throw on some K-pop demon idols or demon hunters. And you know what? I stopped it halfway through and I texted my wife and I was like, this is amazing. You have to watch it when you get home.
This is peak. Yeah. Speaking of Anime Expo, that's when I watched it.
Anime Expo?
Yeah. So I just got back from Anime Expo. By the time y'all are watching and listening to this, it's been a week, but I was at Anime Expo. And so it's a 4-day long convention. You're there for 6 whole days because you got to travel the day before, the day after.
Oh, yeah.
And so we're there, right? And there were several people cosplaying different characters at Anime Expo from K-pop Demon Hunters.
A lot of K-pop Demon Hunters, though.
Yeah, several K-pop Demon Hunter characters. And what's interesting is K-pop Demon Hunters came out like 2 weeks before AX. So there really wasn't enough time for anybody to make any merch. So
that's what's surprised about me.
Yeah, it's this interesting thing where you have this thing that's culturally, it's popping off and everybody's talking about it. There's no merch at a con because it's too soon.
Now, I feel like if they did have merch, that would have gone crazier too.
Yes.
But dude, did you see that BB No Money also cosplays Mira?
Yes.
Dude, within like 2 weeks of it being out, it's insane.
So there were several cosplayers. And so I'm there and my buddy Ty, who's with me, is like, dude, got to watch K-pop Demon Hunters. It's so good. It's so good. It's so good. So we sit down and we watch it one night. And like we ordered, we're in California. So we ordered California Donuts, which is like a 24-hour donut place that is, by the way, it is peak. The best donuts I've ever had in my life. So we ordered donuts and pizza and we had some beers and it's K-pop Demon Hunter night. It blew my mind. It is
the first song. Goosebumps.
So good. From the first song. It is so good.
The hair, you're not thinking about it. I can feel it. Goosebumps.
So we were in LA for 4 days. We watched K-pop Demon Hunter twice.
and how many times did you listen to the soundtrack?
I've purchased the soundtrack since then. And listen to it multiple times.
Every day, dude, brushing my teeth, getting in the shower, literally driving to go get dinner for the night in the car. It's always on.
Well, and it's so interesting too, because like the name of our podcast, it's more than a cartoon. K-pop Demon Hunters is more than a cartoon. And
it's an animation, but
it's like this really cool claymation, advanced claymation, digital
very good.
CGI.
Very good. And made me feel like 2B Hero.
Yes. And it's very much like 2B Hero X. And what's so cool about it is I'm not a part of the K-pop, world. I don't listen to K-pop. I'm not a part of that whole shtick, and I don't really like musicals, honestly. Like, it's not
Okay.
my thing.
Yeah, it's understandable.
But I'm a huge anime fan, and if you're a
Mhm.
massive anime fan, I think there's a lot of like K-pop tropes that
Right.
actually transfer to like anime tropes really, really well
Kind
that
of,
are
yeah.
funny. So like an example is the weird silly faces that the girls make
Mhm.
throughout the movie, right? That's
Mhm.
a very like K-pop thing. That's a very anime thing too, for like you to be in a serious anime and then all of a sudden there's a cut scene where something funny happens and your anime characters have really funny, weird, exaggerated faces, right?
Mhm.
Definitely like a similarity. So if you're an anime fan, I think there's a lot about K-pop Demon Hunters that you'd really, really enjoy. But what's so wonderful about this movie, and just a little context for anybody that's listening or watching and maybe they haven't watched it, basically K-pop Demon Hunters is this, in my opinion, and from what I can
Mhm.
tell, it is a pretty darn original story. There are aspects of it that aren't original that I will bring up later, but it's a
Okay.
pretty darn original story that essentially the world that they've built, right, is
Yeah.
there's the human world and the demon world. And the demon world comes through the human world and is terrorizing humans and like taking human souls and stuff. And
Mhm.
long time ago, these three, what would you call them back in the priestesses, I guess, these three
Yeah,
priestesses,
that
or
that kinda seems like it, yeah.
yeah,
The way they
or like,
dance and sing and all, they
yeah,
have a
tribal
certain
musicians or whatever. They are priestesses in the Korean world, right?
with their clothes, it seems more like a priest, yeah.
Right. But they figure out that like through dance and through song, they
Mhm.
can create this magical shield across the world
Hanmun.
called the Hunmoon that bars demons from coming into our world. And then
Mhm.
with that magical ability, they also have the ability to be demon hunters and fight those demons that do come through and stop them. And they become this series of hunters that is passed down through the generations through a group of three women that are entertainers, and it leads all the way up to the girls that we get to see, and they are
Mhm.
these massively famous K-pop idols that are also demon hunters, and their songs strengthen this shield barrier called the
Mhm.
Honmoon, and
With the
that's the
people's souls, though,
with
that's
the
the thing.
people's souls. Yeah, with the people's
Yes.
souls, and
They
that's
actually
the
sing to their
foundation.
soul technically, and with
Right.
that,
Right.
it strengthens it. Yes.
Correct. And that's the foundation and the premise of this story and this world,
Mhm.
which in and of itself is, in my opinion, a very, very original and unique take on a superhero type of story that just set me
Yes.
up for very cool, very interesting way to like, oh, right, these incredibly, because if you know anything about pop idols, like if you're a famous pop idol, oh my
Mhm.
God, you are like famous. Like what's really, really cool is at the beginning of the movie, they're in a plane and that plane crashes. And
Yeah.
they're like, well, this plane's trashed. And then
Just don't
after
even
that,
care.
yeah, it's like, whatever, no big deal.
Yeah,
And then
just a
after
private
that
jet.
first concert, they're in their tower that looks like the Avengers Tower. Looks like
That's
something.
exactly what
They're
I
they're
thought, dude.
literally like, my buddy goes, oh my God, they're rich. I'm like, yeah, they're
Oh, they're
Tony
rich.
Stark rich. They are Tony Stark levels of
Not the fact they
rich.
also passed up on a week resort,
Like no
like
big
like
deal.
a high, most
Yeah.
expensive week resort. Like, nah, you can have it. We want to go to the couch.
Yeah, you can have it. We're gonna go sit on the couch. As my buddy, he goes, oh, they rich. They just
Yeah,
had
they're
a
rich.
private jet fall down. They can apparently fly and do all this stuff. And so it sets up this really interesting dynamic that they're
Mhm.
superheroes, they're
Mhm.
these insanely famous and rich pop idols, and they're carrying on a legacy of these huntresses from for hundreds and hundreds of years. And that's the
Mhm.
foundation of
Yeah.
K-pop demon hunters. And then like things start to fall apart, and like it becomes really interesting because the demons have this idea that like, hey, nothing we've ever done has worked. Let's attack them where we've never attacked them before. Let's attack their fans, not by trying to kill them, but
Trying to
by
win them
trying
over.
to win them over. And that will
Mhm.
weaken them. And they have this idea to create a boy demon K-pop band, and it's just the coolest, most original idea. I'll stop ranting. I'll let you give
No,
your
and
take,
let's be
but that's the
honest.
foundation.
When do boy bands not work though? Like boy bands always work. They
Well, what's
always.
crazy is like they created, so the Saja Boys, and then you have Huntrix. The Saja Boys songs are literally outperforming BTS, one of the most popular K-pop boy
Mhm.
bands of all time. So now we're in this situation where you have this movie with this fictional world and these fictional bands.
It's fourth
and these,
dimension now, dude. It's
yeah,
breaking the
and these
fourth wall, dude.
songs that are literally taking over the records in our world. It's breaking the fourth wall. It's the craziest thing.
So my point on this is that I did kind of get into K-pop a long time ago. I think when I was around maybe 18, 19, I kind of got really big into K-pop. You know, of course, that's when Felix, I think that's his name, was starting to get big for K-pop. I don't know which one he was in. I never knew their names. I love watching the music videos because this is like when Welcome Gangnam Style came out. And I was like, that's K-pop. They put so much effort into their music videos and especially like even their idols. So in Korea, it is a huge thing to be a K-pop idol. I found out that too. I love watching K-dramas. I love watching anything that comes from Korea. I love it. You know, you want to talk about their skincare products. You want to talk about their shows. You want to talk about their acting because it's on a whole different level.
Yeah.
Whole different level. So that right there, I love. Now, if you want to tie in Solo Leveling, which is a Korean manga, which is manhwa, that right there, everything right now coming out of Korea is amazing. So I think doing a K-pop movie was perfect, but the way they did it was amazing because, like I said, I got into K-pop a little bit and watching how they did it and how they did the songs, the music, everything with it, phenomenal. Really made me want to get back into it. But I'm gonna be talking to Will specifically now. We don't usually do this. We kind of talk to like at me and you, but we also talk to, you know, the people listening. I'm really gonna talk to Will right now because I want to see if he picked up on these things, and you guys can as well. But these are things from K-pop Demon Hunters that you might have missed, Will, and I want to see if you actually noticed. All right. Now it's not gonna be in order. I have a whole list right here next to me. I'm just gonna kind of go off of them.
I'm wholly unprepared for this, by the way, everybody.
No.
You're in the hot seat. Doing this, so I'm going in blind.
Let me tell you. I'm telling you right now. When you listen to these and you actually think about them, you're going to want to go rewatch it, even though you probably already want to rewatch it right now. 3 times seen it, probably want to watch it for a 4th time, maybe a 5th. I'm telling you right now, once you see this and then, or hear this, sorry, once you hear this and then you go watch the movie and see it, you love it even more.
All right.
Just keep that in mind. All right. So starting off simple, Babyface from the Soulja Boys. Remember him? Okay. Babyface, when he does his first rap in Soda Pop, which is phenomenal. When he does his rap, did you notice in the background you can hear My Little Teapot?
What?
That little tun tun like that is like it's like My Little Teapot,
really
short and stout. Like is that? That's one thing I was like. Someone pointed it out, and I'm like, no. And I went back and listened to it, dude. I cannot unhear it now. So once you hear that, you won't be able to hear it. Now, here's one thing that really is there's a lot of layers to this one. Okay, Jinwoo is controlling the Soulja Boys, right? Something we all know.
Yeah.
But actually controlling them. There are certain signs you can kind of tell. So when you first see the Soulja Boys, right? They're walking down the alleyway. Then you see those 4 first, then you see Jinwoo right behind. Kind of almost like the puppet master, right?
Right.
Kind of can see that. Then when you're watching later on, when they're at the game show, the first one to notice that Huntrix was there was Jinwoo. As soon as he noticed, you can see they also noticed too. So he noticed it's like a chain reaction. There's certain times when he notices things, they also notice. Or when he has certain things or looks or reaction times, they kind of follow as a chain reaction. But also reason why some people believe that the Soulja Boys, we know exactly we know what Mystery looks like. That's one thing people wanted to know what Mystery looked like and why Zoe was so obsessed with them. Well, you see them before.
Yeah, you do.
So before you see the Soulja Boys,
yeah,
you saw the picture frame, right?
Picture on the fraud doctor's wall. Yeah.
Yes. So you see all 4 of them. So you can see Mystery, Romance, Abby, and Babyface.
Yeah, or they
see all 4 of them.
Look like they could be them. Yeah,
it has to be, dude. Come on. I mean, like if you look at them, they're almost perfectly identical.
This is one that I have heard that the theory is that they were actually a boy band that turned into demons for whatever reason, and then Genu is the one that's like controlling them. I do see that one because I never like my own speculation wasn't necessarily that Genu is controlling them, but I agree with that. But my speculation was like, oh, Genu is more of a higher class of demon, a higher sentient class of demon. Like you got the demons that are in the crowds that are like the plebes, right? Just the basic level demons. And then you have Jiwa, who's like the main guy. And then you have Genu, who's kind of like an underboss demon, right? I looked
Sort
at
of.
the Saja boys as like a lesser than him that are kind of following, like he's controlling
I
them.
think,
They're like
yeah,
puppets, like you said, and he's the one
yeah.
that's really in charge. He's a higher tier of demon than they are, and
So
they're
there's
higher
more
than
to
like the
that.
common class.
There's a little more to that because, like I said, when you see all four of those, you see that the assumption could be made that Jinwoo approached him saying, "Hey," or same with Giwa, he said, "Hey, I can make y'all famous,"
Right.
just like how he did with Jinwoo.
Yep.
And
Yep.
so
Or
they're
I can
still
make you
new
really
to
famous. Yeah.
they're still new to their demon form, correct? Just like how Jinwoo happened when Giwa approached him, he was like, "Hey, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna make you famous. I'm gonna put you in next to Emperor in the palace. You have full bellies, all this stuff." That's what it is. But then guess what happened? He turned into a demon. That was over 400 years ago. So keep in mind. So all the demons you've probably seen are very new, probably still a lot under Ginwa's control. Maybe it has something to do with the weaker he gets, the less control he has. That's why maybe Jin was able to do certain things. Maybe. Here's another thing too, though. Speaking of Jinwoo and 400 years ago, when you see Jinwoo as a demon the first time, right? You kind of you hear that he was 400 years ago. He left his mom and his sister. In the first opening scene of K-pop Demon Hunters, when the demons are attacking the city, you see a woman and her daughter, and she's protecting her daughter with a pitchfork. Some people are saying that's Jinwoo's sister and mother being attacked by the demons
After he
and
abandoned them.
after he abandoned him. So, because like we don't know what happened. There's a gray area. Now, do I believe that's true? I really don't think it is. They do look similar, but I think they're stretching on that one. That's a big thing. I thought it was very interesting also how Jinwoo decided to attack the fans, to go after the fans and take away the support of the Huntrix, right? That's what they get. They get from the songs, the souls, all that stuff. So they attack that. I thought it was very interesting because they can weaken them on that. But if you look at when they try to do takedown, that song is all about hatred, mean, insecurities, all that stuff, exposing that. And it doesn't work for them. It actually works in the opposite for Huntrix. So, excuse me. So what I think is surprisingly though, is you have Huntrix who tries to play at their game, they lose. You have Jinwoo or the demons who play at Huntrix level, it works for them. That's one thing I noticed too, is like, that's very odd of how they did the writing for that. Was that intentional? I'm not sure. Another thing they did was there was a lack of lore, meaning there's a lot of hidden things and that from people's past that aren't really explained, but they do such a great job through this movie with details. So many details. I mean, if you just take a minute to look at all their charms they have, like on their belts or I think it's on their belts or on their phones, they have charms. Each one of those signify their whole life pretty much, even though the song Golden is about their life. It's so crazy how Zoe with the turtles and also has a hair, how two different ones. One thing is she's like, slow to approach things, how she's very energetic and jumpy. You have also another thing they tie with turtles is too later on is how it's her favorite thing to watch when she says she has like 700 seconds of turtle videos she wants her to watch. You have Mira, where she has everything's like very sharp edges, like there's I think like it was like a black sheep, almost kind of like seeming like how she just didn't fit into her family, which that's explained. But then you have Rumi, where hers is she has her braids and all that stuff intertwined with her charm with a purple and a dark one, meaning her demon and her real life kind of mixing together. Another thing she has on there too is like, she has all these golden sparks on it too, because that's all she's hunting for is gold and stuff, and how the patterns also kind of mixed up too, all that. Another thing also when talking about patterns too is very cool. If you notice when you watch it, this is just a little side bit. When you watch the movie again, Woo and a lot of the Saja boys, when they have their clothes on, especially like after they first meet and they know that they're demons, all their clothes have some form of pattern on it. So you can just see their patterns are always exposed on their clothing, but not on their skin. So that's always kind of a given.
That's interesting.
Another thing too is
talking about little details. Did you notice that at the very beginning when they're on the plane and they go to eat ramen, that they're eating ramen that's named after themselves? I know, yes, like they have their own ramen. That's crazy.
Oh, that's how rich they are. That's how rich
they are. And they eat their own ramen.
A lot of things too that didn't make sense about this, where they're lacking in the lore, and I want them to go into more detail because there's rumors saying that left out about an hour and a half of the movie because it's about an hour and a half. It's supposed to be a 3-hour movie, or I think it was also supposed to be a TV show at some point.
Well,
So it was supposed to be longer.
I think it's good. Like, I think it's probably intentional because you
Mm-hmm.
watch the movie, right? And you definitely like, I definitely felt like, hey, I needed like another half hour for it to really wrap up the story.
Yes.
But I think they did a great job of putting it in a way where it's like, hey, if it's a flop and we can't do
Mm-hmm.
anymore, then it's wrapped up good enough. But
Very
if
well.
it's a
I'd be fine if they just
success,
left it.
yeah,
Yes.
if it's a success, there's plenty of things that are
Mm-hmm.
left open. And the biggest, like, we can get into all the things that are left open, but the biggest one is what's their goal, right? Their goal is to create the golden honeymoon that will last for eternity, which they didn't do. They created a new honeymoon, but you'll notice when they create it, it's blue and it never turns
Well,
gold.
actually, when they create it, that's another thing too. It's different colors. It's yellow, it's
Correct.
pink,
Yes.
and blue. And if
It's
you look
not
at two,
gold, though.
those are the 3 colors. So that means it's a completed. I think that's where they might go a little bit different to it because like it's a completed whole moon of each 3 of them. Because originally it was just a blue one. Originally it was just like it was just cover that, and they're trying to search for a golden one. The colors do mean everything in that show.
Yes.
Definitely mean a lot.
Yes.
But one thing though is for Netflix to greenlight a season 2 or for a second movie, it needs to have certain criteria. It needs to be, on the top watch for a certain period of time. I think for like 2 weeks.
Which it's definitely there.
It's definitely there. It needs to have a certain amount of plays within, it coming out, and I think it needs to be in that top watch list. I think that's what they mainly need to make sure.
Too. So that happened with Squid Games, and then Squid Games got greenlit for. Is it on? It just came out with the 3rd season, right?
Yeah, the 3rd season, and then they're doing a US, which is
talk about another epic Korean thing that's come out.
Like I said, Korea is just killing it right now, dude. And when it comes to that, Netflix, I guarantee you they will greenlight a either second episode or they'll do TV shows. Because one thing they left out, I'm telling you, just first off, I'm gonna tell you right now. All right, as a married straight male, I felt like I went gay for a couple of seconds when I watched some of the Saja Boys at certain times. I really did. If I'm being honest, I really did. Especially my favorite song by them, Idol. When you have Jinwoo, I think it was Jinwoo, when he's doing that with the chain on the hat, I'm like, I think I'm gay for a second because
I'm watching it and I'm like, huh. I'm not usually down with this type of thing, but like, I mean, this song's working for me.
Yes.
Now
there's a lot to go into Idol.
It's what I always say about Ryan Reynolds is like, listen.
No.
But if Ryan Reynolds offered to buy me a beer, I wouldn't say no.
Ryan Reynolds is in a different league. All right. Every male knows that it's not gay if it's Ryan Reynolds. It's not.
Listen, we don't call him Ryan. We call him, you pronounce his name.
Call him Rai.
Okay. Oh, you pronounce his name Daddy.
True.
Okay. Back on topic.
So I do think there is going to be a continuation because there's a lot they left out. And one thing they left out that really pisses me off, and I'm going to go back into Idol because it's my favorite song. But one thing they left out is that apparently it was rumored that Jinwoo and Rumi go to like an aquarium on a date and they kiss. We got left out.
Cut?
Yes, we got left out a kiss scene that would have built up their relationship even more, which made the ending. If you haven't seen it, we're not going to spoil it. I'm not going to spoil it. There's another part you missed out.
Yeah,
it would have made a lot more sense and made it a lot more emotional. But also, it's crazy how what happens to Jinwoo, because we're going to spoil it anyways. What happens is that Jinwoo technically passes away, and he gives like his soul to Rumi to use as a sword.
Yeah.
I thought it was very crazy too how she was able to just switch off those emotions really quick after someone she cared about and loved just passed away to fight Giwa. But at the same time, this whole time she's been so trapped in her own emotions. Maybe that's her coming into her character probably a little bit more, where she's been so trapped, not willing to show her friends her true self. But she's able to push off those love and feelings, emotions, like stuff like that. Just didn't make sense to me there. But at the same time,
to me,
everyone's asking, is Jinwoo dead? Sorry. Everyone's asking if Jinwoo's dead. He's not, because he's the soul and the sword. There might be a way to come back
now. So like,
yes,
we, like you said, there's a lot left out in the lore. So like, can she have her sword change form into Jinwoo? Like, is that probably seen stuff like that happen? And like, Soul Eater, come on, like that
would be an anime based type thing too.
Yeah, totally could happen.
Because when you're talking about the tropes they have for anime, they have the 3 types. All right, you have with Zoe, Rumi, and Mira. Each one is its own anime trope as itself. So they do a very good job.
Type A leader,
but also is insecure and soft though, and never really fits in.
And then you have has a secret that they can't tell anybody, because if they tell them, the people are going to see them weak and they're not going to be able to achieve the goals that they have. Then you have the rebel, who's the black sheep, who doesn't ever really fit in, but finally fits in with this group of people.
She
And then
found
you
her home,
have
her family.
and then you have like the overcompensating ADD overzealous person that's like really kind of out
Missing
there.
father, just that right there is a trope
Yeah.
alone. Missing father, but also
Yeah.
her father's a terrible person, apparently. Which I'm going to get into that in just a second. Which not let me talk about right now because her father couldn't have been a demon. Probably, I put a lot of thought into this. They say her father was a demon. Now, if you look at it, no
That's
one
the
just
only,
becomes a demon. No one
isn't
becomes
that
a
the
demon.
only way to like explain it though? Because it said, because doesn't her mentor say that she's half demon?
So that's what I'm saying. This is why I want you to think about this, because how does someone become a demon? Giwa has to get in your head, make you take the fear, your doubt, your shame, all that stuff. He uses that against you. Then he drags you down and turns you into a demon, right? He
Yeah.
takes your soul,
So
turns you
she
into a
was
demon.
born like this. So did something happen to her mom
But
while her mom was pregnant with her to cause that
so
to?
I have two theories with this, because either her father, when she was with her dad, right, when making the baby, we all know how that works, right? He
I
was
don't
he
know
was a normal
how does
human.
that work?
So when you have two people who love each other very much, they hold hands very, very hard,
And then
and
a
a baby
stork
comes up.
flies through the window and brings a baby.
Yes. So what happens is maybe he was regular human, then maybe fear of, I mean, you probably experienced this too, us being dads, fear of not maybe being a good dad, not having enough money, not bringing your child into the life that you wanted to be in. That's stress. So maybe Giwa got in his head and then turned him into a demon after she was already pregnant, right? Or maybe he had, just like how you see with Bobby when they're taking Bobby down on these stage when they're doing their golden song, they can also shapeshift into different people. That could be a theory there too.
That's a
Because
common theme that we see with like the god demon archetype throughout all kinds of lore is you have a god or a demon that turns themselves into a human. That's a very typical archetype with like Greek mythology where gods make themselves look like
yes,
humans and they go and impregnate human
Zeus,
people,
man,
and then here come
dude.
demigods, right? And
Yep.
that's how we get
So
demigods.
she's a demi huntrix.
I think that's interesting. I also think that like I think it could end up being that she is half demon, because
I think she is half
the
demon.
way that
I
I
think
look
it's
at it is like the relationship they set up with her and Genu. Genu's a demon, right? I to me is supposed to be a type and shadow of what happened with her mom and her dad. That's what because I think it's
that's a
setting
good
up
point. I
kind of
never saw
like
it that
a
way.
type and
Yeah.
shadow of like her mom fell in love with the demon, and then whatever happened, who knows, the demon, like maybe Giwa killed him or whatever,
Yeah.
maybe who
Yeah.
knows, or
That's a
something,
great
because
way
her
of putting
mom's
it.
clearly dead too, and her mom was one of the Sunlight Sisters, so her mom was a hunter as well. So what kind of happened there? So I look at it
So
like her relationship with Genu is an example
of
of
what her father and
what
mother was.
happened with her mom.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
kind of how I look at it.
See, I can see them though being so deceptive when it comes, because they were trying to win every single way. So maybe they did shapeshift, and then
True.
they held some hands really hard, and
Maybe, yeah,
boom.
it could have been a whole like ploy
But I'd
to
like
take
yours. Wait,
down the
and
Sunlight Sisters.
if they're gonna try to go with the PG theme, especially go into the romance, I feel like they would probably do that one more than actually like being deceptive and taking
Yeah,
advantage
yeah.
of the mother.
That's
Now I
a
can see that,
whole
but
piece
in
that they left
anime,
out though, that
you know
is
they would
like,
definitely run with it.
yeah, the whole second movie could, or series or whatever comes next could be centralized around like, who is Rumi's dad? Is he
Dude,
alive? Maybe he comes back. Maybe he's worse than Giwa. Maybe Giwa is just an underboss and Rumi's dad is like the big bad, the big bad guy, the big bad demon. Who knows? Like
yeah.
that's possible. Something that
Well,
I really, really like is I loved this. How do I say this? I love the story that they told through Rumi being ashamed of who she was, right? Being her whole life. And that shame caused, it was like a self-fulfilling prophecy. That shame caused the patterns of her demon form to spread more and more and more, that ultimately went to her voice and like made it to where she couldn't sing. And I thought it was really beautiful how, because at first I was like, okay, because there's a part where she tells Genu, being around you has cured my voice. And I'm like, why did being around Genu cure her
I got that
voice? Like
answer.
what? I know the
I got
answer.
the answer.
Yeah.
Okay,
I was like, why
okay.
did being around Genu cure her voice? And my best friend goes, he was like, well, it's not that Genu cured her voice. It's that Genu saw her and accepted her for who she was. And she didn't have to feel shame around Genu. and that shame going away is
Mhm.
what caused her voice to come back, which,
Mhm.
taking it even to another level, the whole philosophy and mantra of the hunters that you hear their mentor say is, we cannot show anyone our faults and our flaws and our emotions. We have to push it
Mhm.
down, which I think
Mhm.
is even a deeper allegorical lesson in this movie, because
It makes
what,
her the villain. She was actually the villain the whole time because she
unintentionally,
was supposed to
right?
take care of her.
But
She
here,
says, "Don't show your
yes,
emotions. Don't show your patterns.
but
Don't do
here's
this.
the
Don't
thing.
do that. Don't."
That's an allegory for what we all do as humans, because it works for a while. Stuffing your shame and stuffing your emotions works for a little bit until it doesn't. What happened in
Right.
this, in a much more macro perspective, what happened in this story? All of these hunters, they stuffed their shame and their emotions for
Mhm.
so long until they couldn't do that anymore, and the honeymoon started to dissipate.
But it wasn't their fault though. That's the
I'm not
thing. It
saying it's their
wasn't their
fault.
fault
Yeah.
because if flat out the villain of the movie isn't Giwa, all right, it's the woman who took care of him, the aunt or whatever you want to call her, the one who's training the Huntrix. She is the villain of the movie, and I will not take any other answers for that because she is. She tells them you have to hide your fears, you have to hide your faults, bury them down. Don't tell anyone about them, right? Which we also know that's how they use that against you with the shame and all that for attacking. I can see how the right intentions, but then when she wants to tell the people who accept her, knowing that they would accept her for her patterns, she's like, no, they can never know. They'll never accept you. Because what does she always say? Demons, you cannot make you can't reason with a demon. You have to kill all demons. You have to kill every demon.
But you learn
So
with Genu that that's actually not true.
true. Yeah,
That you can,
exactly.
because Genu gets his soul back. Genu has a change of heart. Genu realizes and is reasoned with by
She
Rumi. So I don't.
she's that's the reason why Rumi doesn't get affected. And also, I'm telling you, Rumi never lost her voice. She never lost her voice. All right, she lost her confidence.
Right,
The
right. It was
the fact
psychological.
is, the patterns never took away her voice. Her voice was always there. The confidence wasn't. Because every time, if you look at it, when she's singing a song that she doesn't believe and she doesn't know is true, because her
Yeah.
whole life is being changed.
Yep.
Once she realizes her life is being changed, she understands now that's why her voice is messing it up. And the reason why too is that when she feels free, that whole song, amazing, love it. When she feels free with him, that's when her voice comes back. She realizes that I don't have to be ashamed of who I am. I can be accepted by people. Like you said, that's when her voice came back. Her voice was never gone. She just didn't believe what she was doing. She was so worried about her patterns and like, if I do this, oh, I'll be able to hide it and I'll never speak of it. That's why her
Yeah.
voice gave out.
Yeah.
And so that's another thing. But another thing I want to talk about too is that the way they use the music in this movie is amazing.
Mhm.
Amazing. When you listen to Takedown, I want you to really listen to it next time because when they say, when I see your face and it's ugly with sin, and all that, because like or they say like I see your true face and it's ugly with sin, stuff like that. And listen to Idol, because when they're ripping off her clothes and those are the demons yelling at her saying during Takedown, they're ripping off her clothes saying like I see your face and it's ugly with sin. They're saying that. When you go to Idol, the next song you hear from the Saja Boys, which honestly they needed more songs, but then when Jinwoo is doing his part and he's doing all sexual, and you look in his eye, he says, I'm the only one that can love you for your sins.
Mm.
And all that right there, he's like, they're saying, no one's ever gonna like you for your sins, no one's ever gonna love you, you're ugly, all that stuff. But then you got Jinwoo saying, I'm the only one that can love you for your sins.
Yeah.
I'm like, just thinking about goosebumps right now, love it. But also in Idol, I want you to watch this, okay? The whole time he's dancing, he's throwing his arms and all. Look at his wrist. What is he wearing? A bracelet. You're thinking, okay, is it the bracelet that he got from their little date? No. A lot of people put this in there, and it's like, oh, he's wearing a bracelet. He's not, because right before you go on, you see the tiger try to hand him the bracelet. You kind of see it gets to him a little bit. You see his facial expression change a little bit. He's wearing a silver bracelet the whole song until the very end when he raises his hand up. That bracelet has changed colors. When he's raising up and right before she comes on, she does her voice, you see it has turned. And I believe, if you take it frame by frame, I believe it is the bracelet that he was wearing or that he got from their date. And you see his face, he goes like you see his eyes and his face change, like he's confused. Why did it change? And that's why he doesn't move. He's stunned because he's conflicted now with Giwa and also his
Yeah.
love.
Yeah.
So if you notice the bracelet change and you see his face change, that makes me love it more. Just the little details they added to this
Agreed.
makes it so much more.
Yeah. Agreed.
Makes it so much more.
So yeah, I completely agree. There's one more point I want to bring up in closing, unless you
Mhm.
have anything else you want to bring up. If you don't, I'll go into my point. If you do,
Just a little thing too. Also, at the very end too, I thought it was very cute how they weren't able to talk about like the tiger, the hat, and all that. But if you look at Zoe's sweatshirt when they come out of the bathhouse,
yeah, yeah,
the tiger's on it.
yeah, 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 yeah,
That was
yeah,
so cute.
yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, so one thing that I thought was really interesting, and I brought this up at the
Mhm.
beginning of the podcast. I said the thing that I think that isn't super original about it, and I don't know if it was intentional or not, but I still like it because there's only one other IP that I've seen something like this. And
Okay.
we'll kind of do this in closing to the episode. But it's not overt in telling you this, but you can infer it because we mentioned it,
Mhm.
where they get their power for the Hone Moon and for their
Mhm.
demon hunting abilities through their fans, right? Their fans'
Right.
soul, their fans' spirit, their fans' belief in them, right? So
Mhm.
when their fans start to believe in the Saja boys more, then their power starts to lessen. And then you also see at the very end when they decide to like stop being incognito and actually go interact with their fans, you see like the Hone Moon like strengthening because of that. Because the whole time they were like, "Oh my god, we're super
Oh.
famous. We got to avoid the fans, stuff like that." And then you see once
Okay.
they accept that, oh, hey, let's go spend time with our fans, you start to see
Yeah.
that like that animation of the Hone Moon strengthening. So it kind of infers that they get their power from their fans. That's the one aspect of this story that isn't original, which is interesting.
Okay.
It's original because they kind of made it their own. But if
Yeah.
you look at To Be Hero X,
I knew it. Freaking knew it.
To Be Hero X, the heroes get their powers based on their, what do they call it, their belief value,
Trust.
their trust
Trust.
value, based on how
Trust and
much their
fear.
fans trust them. So if they
Mhm.
have fans that trust them, they're more powerful. So their
Mhm.
power is directly linked to their fans or the general populace, just like in K-pop Demon Hunters, Huntrix's powers are directly linked to their fans' belief and
100%.
love
Yeah.
for them. That's the
Yeah.
one piece of it that wasn't like super original that I noticed, but I don't think I haven't seen a lot of people talk about that, which I think
Mm.
is fine because it took. I don't think it was intentionally taken from To Be Hero X, but it's kind
No.
of been morphed into its own to fit into their story, right? To fit
Right.
into their world, which I think is
Well, I
really
mean, they're
interesting.
idols, so they're everything based off of their whole life is on their fans. So I mean, that I think that's kind of already like hand and foot when it comes to that. But at the same time, it's a great point of putting that, and I really do think I knew you were going to talk about TV here X, which I just watched and I just started watching, which we'll talk about in next week's
Yeah,
episode.
it's very
But
good.
I just started watching it, and I knew it. I knew right when you said that, dude. I was like, "Yep, TV here."
Yeah, it's really good. But
Yes,
yeah, K-pop Demon Hunters was like a huge shock and revelation and really really cool, and like I want to get me a Huntrix shirt, and like I'm
dude,
right there. I'm
loved
not
it,
a K-pop fan.
loved it.
I don't really like musicals. I'm not in that whole thing,
Mhm.
but something about this movie just hits. The soundtrack hits, the songs hit. It's all done so perfectly well, and it just makes me like really really enjoy it. And I'm a huge fan of, my preferred form of art is movies and TV shows and anime.
Yes,
That's my
yeah.
preferred, because it, to me it's an art. People might like fine art, people might like music, people might like comic books, people might like manga. My preferred
Mhm.
medium for art is the silver screen, the TV shows, the movies, things like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So there's very few, I can name most of them, movies that I've watched that really, really like affected, I wouldn't say affected me, but had an impact on me. The
Mhm.
first one that I can remember is the original Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. The second
Great.
one is a very obscure Ryan Daddy movie, Ryan Reynolds
Daddy.
movie that most people haven't heard about, called The Nines. Beautiful movie.
Okay.
The third one is a movie that I've only seen once and I'll never watch again. A Star is Born with Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga. That movie
Uh,
jacked
tell
me
me
up.
something, girl.
My
Yeah.
God, that movie jacked me up. And then K-pop Demon Hunters really, really impacted me. Just the
Mhm.
way that it was done, the underlying messages underneath it that I think are so powerful, to like not suppress your shame and emotions, that like, hey, if you talk about your crap, it
Mhm.
actually makes you stronger and makes you a better
Yeah.
person and makes you more
Yeah.
powerful.
You
And
always
that's
feel better when you get it out.
exactly. So I think it's a phenomenal movie. If you're listening, we kind of spoiled some stuff, but didn't really like ruin
Oh, we spoiled it
anything.
out.
you can
We
still
spoiled it. It's
you can
gone,
still
man.
watch the movie and like
You
really
need
really
to.
enjoy it, which I highly
You need
recommend.
to.
Yeah. So
I'll tell you though, this this animation movie is very versatile. Anyone could watch it. So if you're worried about like it's a kids
100%.
movie, anyone can watch it. It was not advertised enough, and I'm gonna tell you right now too, it will blow. Even us talking about it right now and how much we're glazing over it, that still doesn't do it justice because it lives past the
Yeah,
hype.
I
I'm just
agree.
gonna tell you, and it's very hard to say that. There's sometimes I'm very skeptical going into a lot of animes, very skeptical. But this right here, I loved it. My wife loved it. It's like she wants to watch it again. Watch K-pop Demon Hunters.
Yeah.
Come back. Tell us how much you loved it.
Yeah. I heard that they're going to be submitting Golden for Grammy nominations.
All the songs could work for it.
I bet you it will win.
All right. What's your favorite song from out of the 7 songs? Like I said, should have been more. Really should have been more. But out of the 7 songs, what's your favorite song? We'll end with that.
The first song. Yeah. I
the
love
least
that song.
Streamed one? Really?
I love that song.
No, hold on. The first song, you're talking about like that's
no, it's not Take Down.
Takedown's not the first song.
Yeah.
It's like here
the wrong
something.
Name of it. Not Take Down.
I literally have it right. I have it right here. So it's How It's Done.
How It's Done. There you go. Yeah.
Great. Great song. Love that one. Great. Especially when they come in from the plane and then just like the way they did the visuals of this, amazing. Favorite one, honestly, right now is Idol. Love that one. But the one that probably gets stuck in my head the most will be Free. But then Soda Pop is just God amazing. Like, dude, I'll be doing this all the time in my house around my wife all the time.
So I think I'm gonna be going to New York Comic Con. I low-key want to cosplay Genu with demon face paint and like the costume from Idol. Like, because I'm tall, I'm lean, and like I think I could pull it off. Like, that would be really cool. But I'll leave y'all with that. Let me know in the comments if I should do that.
So I'll just say this real quick and all that. I'm trying to go to the anime convention in New York. We'll see about that. So that'd be a little bit weird. I'm really nervous about that because yes, you're obviously tall. I'm not short. Okay, I'm 5'10", proud. All right, I'm not a short king.
You're a normal height.
A little bit above average, but okay, well, I'll take that. But at the same time, though, I was like, because you and the person I would have filming my videos if we ever met up, he's I think 6'3" or 6'5".
So it's all gonna be like this.
I'm just be like this the whole time, just looking at you guys, and I'm be like Kevin Hart when y'all meet up. I'm just gonna disappear.
Okay. My buddy who filmed for me for a long time before we start using tripods is 5'7". So he's like.
Okay, so me and him can get along then. But yes, if you do Jinwoo, then we might have to keep our distance because honestly, that little thing, I don't know. Something happened to me, man. Something happened to me.
All right. Anyways,
I appreciate you guys being here. Thanks so much. We'll see you next week's episode.
Until next one.
Watch the movie.
Yes.